Many people remember Erma Bombeck as the quick-witted humorist and author. Her popular newspaper columns reflected the frustrations of the suburban home life in the 60s all the way to the 90s. And her life is now the subject of a one-woman show, Erma Bombeck at Wit's End. It opens tomorrow at the Garner Galleria Theater and Bar. And joining me today is actress, columnist, and public speaker Pam Sherman, who takes on the role of Erma, and that's got to be so much fun.
It is so much fun because, of course, she was my idol and the inspiration for the column that I don't think any woman could write today the way they write without what she did so many years ago.
Yeah.
And so many people don't know her story.
I know.
So I'm so excited to be here in Denver and bring this production to the Denver Center.
Love it. My mom introduced me to Erma Bombeck back in the 70s, 80s, so it's very fun. Now, I know that your backstory is almost as interesting as Erma's is. Now, you're a self-proclaimed former lawyer, or a recovering lawyer, really, and you dumped the courtroom for the stage.
Yes, I'd like to say I did that, but the law firm actually went out of business. And it was in a recession a long time ago and far away. And I had always dreamed of being an actor. And I decided to jump off a cliff and became a full-time working actor in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
Go ahead and cue the laughter.
No kidding.
And I had a great career there for a period of time, working in film, theater, and television. And then we moved to suburban upstate New York to a cornfield and cried for about 5 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Which became the inspiration for my column.
And isn't it weird how things happen the way they're supposed to, so that you land where you need to be?
They are. It was actually great because when I landed in Rochester, New York, I realized now what's my dream going to be? I have to readjust my dream. And if you think about it, Erma was really a dreamer. She has so many great quotes about dreaming and how do you show them to other people. It's frightening. And so I remember when I came home and I said to my husband, I'm going to write a column. It's called The Suburban Outlaw. And he said, well, you never told me you dreamed about that. And I said, well, I'm adjusting my dream for real life.
We're all allowed to adjust our dreams.
That's right.
All right, well, let's talk about the show and really what it's like to embody the likeness of Erma Bombeck. I mean, that's got to be interesting.
First of all, she's very different than I am. She's from Ohio. I'm from New York. But she was definitely a woman of her time. You know, she came from very humble means, and she did things like ironing her husband's shirts. It was, for me, a great joy to get back on stage. I hadn't acted in 13 years.
Oh, wow.
So when I was handed the script and asked if I would do it, I opened up this envelope and I burst into tears. And I realized who she was, and her story needed to be told. And, other than learning how to be back on stage, I also had to learn how to iron like her.
She was a big ironer. I do remember that. And it was a hugely popular newspaper column called At Wit's End.
Yes.
And again, you can still find it on Google if you haven't read any.
She was 900 newspapers at the height of her career, writing 3 columns a week.
Wow.
Through her passing in the 90s, which is remarkable if you think about it. She wrote 13 independent books beyond the column.
Wow.
So incredibly prolific. And I write a column for the USA Today Network, and it's every other week, and I think, oh my gosh, I'm on a deadline.
Yeah.
So think about that.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we consider her a columnist, but she considered herself a journalist.
Yes.
But she also championed for the equal rights movement. Right,
and
in
I
the 70s.
think that's the most wonderful and surprising part of this story, that a woman of humble means, a Catholic housewife from Dayton, Ohio, decided that the Equal Rights Amendment was going to be her issue. So she traveled all over America, and she worked with Gloria Steinem and Bella Abzug, such an unexpected person, because she wanted to be the champion for women who didn't typically have a voice. There were women fighting for equal pay, and women fighting for all of the aspects of feminism in the in the 70s, but nobody fighting for what it meant to be a stay-at-home mom. And she really championed the RAA for her audience.
That's great. And her audience, hugely women, but it's for men as well. And so what do you think men will get out of the show?
Well, I always tell men to come because, well, first of all, it's a short play, no intermission. You're locked in. You can drink at the Galleria. I love that. We've even added, it's selling so well. I believe, women are definitely bringing their men to the show, and we've even added a performance on September 10th on a Tuesday,
fantastic,
which is exciting. But a lot of men come up to me and said, my mom would cut out the column and leave it on the kitchen table for me. So I think men really get it, and there's always some guy in the front row wiping a tear at the end.
He gets it, yeah.
Which I love, you know. He'll never say it, but he's just going like that.
That's fantastic. Well, so great to meet you, and congratulations on the role. It sounds wonderful.
I'm so excited to be here, and I can't wait for all of Denver to get to know Erma Bombeck.
We will get to know her. Thanks again, Pam. We'll come out to see suburban outlaw Pam Sherman in Erma Bombeck at Wits End. It opens tomorrow, September 4th through the 22nd at the Garner Galleria Theater and Bar. Call the box office for tickets. That number, 303-893-4100, or you can find them online at denvercenter.org.